life just isn't the same. And I think we all need to understand that and just like get over it and accept it and embrace it. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back. My name is Munira, and it's been a long time since I've been in front of this camera. If you do not keep up with me on Instagram, or if you just didn't see my posts, I actually had the flu a couple weeks ago, and that was not fun. It actually has had me pretty down bad. It's taken me more time to bounce back than I thought, but you know, I'm just so excited to be here, be speaking to you all. I missed you all, and yeah, let's just get into today's video. So if you all don't know, I am 26 years old, and lately I have been feeling a little more lost and confused than usual. I feel like being in your 20s, it's such an interesting time. Society tells you that you should want all of these things. You should want the perfect career, or not even that you should want, you should have that. You should have the perfect career by now. You should be in a wonderful relationship, either married or engaged, or, you know, with the love of your life. You should have your own home, okay, or your own apartment or your own space. And that's just not how things are going for all of us. Like right now, I live with my mom. I don't plan to stay here forever. I actually plan to move sooner rather than later. But I'm at my mom's right now, and I'm actually super blessed that, you know, she's allowed me to live in her home, and that she even has a home that I can come back to. So I just really wanted to come on here and just talk about kind of the struggles of being in your 20s and maybe even your 30s and 40s. I also took to Instagram to ask you all how you felt, so I would love to actually start with that and then kind of just go from there. One of my followers basically responded and said, you know, one of the struggles of being in your 20s is hearing from your parents that, you know, I did X, Y, and Z when I was your age. Like, if I can do it, you can too. And I just feel like that's very insensitive of our parents, because we're living in completely different times. The world is so expensive right now. It's so fucking expensive. Let's be for real. Like, when I think back, at this age, my mom was married with 3 kids. I think about that and literally I'm like, I can't even comprehend it, because what? I'm living at my mama's house and you were married with 3 kids? Please. That's crazy to me. And, you know, I commend her for that. That is amazing. But that's just not the path of my life. And I feel like a lot of us feel the same. We live in a different society. We live in a different world where it seems more accessible to chase those unrealistic or not common goals and dreams, such as, you know, if you want to become a model, now's the time to do it. If you want to be an artist, you want to be an interior designer, if you want all of these jobs that, you know, in the past seemed 1 in a million or unattainable, it's not like that anymore. You don't really have to settle for a practical job, like any of those jobs that were seen as stable. We don't have to settle for that anymore. And I don't want to say settle, because if you want to be a doctor, I love that for you, and you should do that. If you want to be a nurse, if you want to be a lawyer, if you want to be an engineer, none of those things are bad. None of those jobs are bad. But for a lot of us, our parents taught us to go for those types of jobs because they seen those as stable. And I know a lot of our parents didn't grow up, you know, with stable lives and stability and a lot of money. They want for us what they didn't have. However, we are living in a timeline where we all want to really feel joy and be happy with, you know, what we actually do with our life. We want joy in our jobs, joy in our relationships, joy in our friendships. And that is so okay. Like, I feel like that's so normal to want that. And I actually feel for our parents that they couldn't look at life from that lens. They couldn't look at life and be like, oh, I'm gonna go for the job that makes me feel the most alive. No, they had to go for which job is going to bring me stability. So I just think it's super insensitive when our parents say that, like, I was doing this, so figure it out. And I'm like, okay, like, if we're lazy, you know, and not doing anything with our lives, and you don't see us, you know, trying to grow and really become our own or come into our own, I could totally understand why you would feel that way. But if we're trying give us some credit, cut us some slack. So if your parents are saying that, just remember that they lived in a completely different time than you. I remind them that because I think they forget. Well, another one of my followers said, you know, some struggles of your 20s is getting used to like paying bills, not having breaks, just having to like adult. And oh my gosh, I totally get that. Bills. Oh my God. You mean every month I have to watch someone take the hard-earned money that I just made? Like, excuse me? It's a huge transition. Like, it's a lot, especially auto pay. Auto pay is like jail. Oh my God. Okay, I'm being dramatic, so like, please calm down. But auto pay, it's like one day you look up and you have a certain amount of money, and then you check the next day and whoosh, snatch that shit right out. Oh my goodness. It's a lot to get used to. So I do understand that. And the breaks, like, we're used to our education system. We're used to having, you know, a couple months off for summer, a week off for Thanksgiving, a few weeks off for winter break. You don't get that as an adult. Some people work on holidays. You mean to tell me I have to go celebrate with my family, then work the next day? No. All for, you know, some company or some business that isn't even truly investing in you. If the company you work for is investing in you, I love that for you, but most are not. Now, if you're like a healthcare worker, then I commend you. Thank you for giving us your time to help us, because you're helping us if you're a healthcare worker. But if you're just working for some company, you know, that's doesn't actually need you to work on a holiday or the next day because it's not urgent, why? What is the point? Control. That's the point. And this is not just a complaint. Like, there are so many perks to being an adult. It's just a huge transition, and it just feels like when you were a teenager and you didn't really know what you were doing. Some people were fortunate enough to know exactly what they wanted to do, but like a lot of us didn't know what we were doing. We were kind of just doing what we were told. Hey, your parents told you need to go to college. You went to college. And I feel like a lot of us are moving like that. Okay, I'm 20 now. I need to get a good stable job and make sure I can pay all this stuff, which is true. You do need that. But like when we were young kids, we had real dreams and goals for things that were big and huge and seemed like, you know, they were out of reach. And my 20s are just sucking that right out of me. It's sucking the life out of me, truly. Working in general is sucking the life out of me. Like 5 days a week, 40 hours, prison. No. Where's the time? And then adding kids into the mix? I don't even know. Okay. Ooh, this is a good one. Someone said one of the biggest struggles with being in your 20s is learning to listen to yourself as opposed to listening to others. I feel like that is a life lesson. It's a life lesson to learn how to tune other people out and just really listen to yourself and your inner guidance system and your intuition. And again, because we are in our 20s, all of us are doing so many different things that we don't really know what we're supposed to do. And there's nothing that you're really supposed to do. That's the worst part. But like, again, you have people getting married, getting engaged, having kids, starting families. You have other people who are single and chasing their career and goals and dreams and living on their own. You have people who are living with their parents, still trying to figure out what they want to do. You have people who don't have career goals and just want to enjoy their life with whatever they're doing. Like, there's so many people doing so many different things, thinking that they need to do this and need to do that. And if you get caught up in what everyone else is doing or what everyone else is telling you need to do, you are going to not be able to hear what your heart is calling you to do and what God is calling you to do and what your soul is yearning for. And I think that's why I have this like love-hate relationship with social media. Like, I love social media and I also despise it. I consistently need breaks from it, and it makes it challenging for me to show up consistently because I can't be on here for too long. I can't hear everyone's opinion. I don't want to. I love that we all have a platform where we can speak our minds, but some of us don't need to speak at all, okay? But yeah, it makes it challenging because you hear everyone else saying what you should be doing. You got 30-year-olds giving you advice for like being in your 20s, and everyone is giving this advice from, you know, life lessons, from trauma, from horrible experiences, from great experiences, and everyone's life just isn't the same. And I think we all need to understand that and just like get over it and accept it and embrace it. We all need to embrace that our lives are all completely different. We are all different individuals. I don't care if we come from similar backgrounds, we're the same race, we're the same age. There are similarities, but we will always be different. We will always be one of one, each of us. So it's sometimes pointless to take other people's advice, especially unsolicited, about what you should be doing with your life when you know in your heart what feels right for you. It's a challenge. It's a challenge because you want to be successful. You want to be on par with the rest of your peers. You want to be up there. You want to make sure that, like, you know, you're also achieving things that people your age are achieving. But sometimes that's just not the way your life is supposed to work out. And we hear it all the time. We hear it from older people who are like, I wish I didn't like stress out so much, or I wish I would have known that I could start over in my 30s and in my 40s and in my 50s, and that like there's no timeline, there's no deadline. You know, they say that your frontal lobe doesn't like fully develop until you're between the ages of 25 and 26. And I actually feel that 100%. I feel like my frontal lobe is just starting to fully develop, or just fully developed, because your decision-making skills change. Like, the reasons you make decisions change. And I just feel like you view life from a different way. I guess maybe because you've had some experience, or maybe it really is just like the human body and how it develops, but things change. There are things that I wanted when I was, 19, 20 that I don't want anymore. My interests are changing, my likes are changing, and it's not like my whole identity is shifting. I'm still me, but I'm just changing. So I just think that whole frontal lobe thing is for real, and we should definitely take that into consideration when it comes to relationships, friendships, all types of goals. Like, that's real. I was watching 13 Going on 30 because that's on Netflix, and now I see why Jenna Rink was like, I want to be 30, flirty and thriving, and not 20 failing but trying, because there's a difference. And I'm not 30 yet, but I just know I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, wow, I was stressed over some stuff that didn't even matter, or wow, I can't believe I felt so lost and now I have so much clarity. Like, it makes sense. When I was younger, I was like, why does she want to be 30? That's old. That's not old at all. Life is flying by. 30 is not old. Okay, 30 is the new 20, and 20 are the new teens, period. Do we want to talk about comparison? I know I touched on it a little bit, but comparison is the thief of joy. Everyone is doing different things. Again, social media. You are comparing your life to people's highlights. And I'm not one to say that, the stuff that people post on social media is only their highlights and a lot of them are struggling. Like, outside of that, no, I don't think that. I think some people are really living like their best life and they post that on social media. I do think also there are other people who are only posting the best parts and they may actually be struggling. That's none of my business. But my point is that we see a lot of people post the best moments of their lives, and then we compare our entire life to that one moment that they're posting. When you think about it, we all have good moments, but it doesn't mean that we need to compare ourselves. You just have society's expectations, your parents' expectations, your partner's expectations, your friends' expectations. You're comparing yourself to everyone. You're comparing yourself to how your parents were at your age. You're comparing yourself to where your partner's at in life. You're comparing yourself to what your friends are doing, what your peers are doing, people you went to high school with, people you went to college with, people that you don't even know, celebrities that are your age or younger. I truly think that we all need like a week away from social media. The internet just needs to be shut down, the apps need to stop working, and we all just need to get outside and touch grass for a week, because then you'll realize that your life isn't as bad as you actually think it is. It's only bad because you're comparing it to someone else's. That's really it, most of the times. Okay, here's another thing. We're starting to actually understand that everyone also has different resources than us. Like, when we were kids, you could see that, oh, that person has a lot of money, they get, they wear a lot of designer things, their parents drive a nice car. Okay, but like now in your 20s, that's a little bit different, because some people's parents are paying their rent in their own apartment. Some people's parents are allowing them to live with them and not pay rent. Some people's parents are allowing them to stay with them and pay rent. Some people's parents are paying for their kids to go abroad, paying for their college education. Some aren't. Like, you start to see the difference in like parental help. And I feel like we don't take all that into consideration. And then sometimes we do, and we get jealous or we get envious because we're like, dang, like I wish I had that much help. And it's just accepting the fact that you don't have that. Your life is the way it is, and you need to walk your own path. I feel like your 20s is really about self-acceptance. That's what you learn in your 20s, or at least you should learn, and it would really give you like a leg up. If you can accept where you're at and that you don't know where you're going, I feel like it makes it that much easier to be in the present. You give yourself a little bit more grace than you maybe would have if you weren't accepting yourself. You bask in the good times, and you go straight through the bad times. Not me getting this clarity while recording this video. I feel like my 20s is really about self-acceptance and self-learning, because we're still at an age where we're really still developing. We're still learning who we are, who we want to become, and who we're becoming. But we also are at a stage where we're accepting how we are, our quirks, our differences, our interests that, are so different than our peers. It's just really an interesting ride. The human experience, it's just so interesting and intricate and connected. Like, we're all so connected, even though we're all so unique and so different. There are a lot of good positives about being in your 20s, but being here, it doesn't feel like it. Like, all the older people tell us, oh my gosh, you're so young, take your risks, like do this, do that. But then you also hear like, it's time to buckle down and build your stability now so that you can be free later. And then you got some who are like, fuck all that, go live life, go travel, go fail, go try and fail and try and fail. And you can figure all the rest of that out in your 30s. It's, again, just so much advice out there that is tailored for different people and different paths. And it's like, which one should I listen to? Which one is gonna work for me? And then that inner voice comes into play. What is your inner self telling you? What is your intuition telling you? What is God saying to you? Such a process. Ooh, I like this one. Someone said a struggle is feeling lost, but also feeling motivated. I get that. Whenever I feel overwhelmed, I start to feel lost and directionless. But at the end of the day, I realize that I always have some type of direction. And when I'm motivated, I feel so on point. I feel so inspired, so divinely guided. It's just interesting. It's an interesting juxtaposition. Feeling lost, but also feeling motivated, and feeling like you know what you're doing, but you also don't. It's like two feelings on opposite ends of the spectrum. Lost, but also like you know what you're doing. And motivated, but also not. You kind of have to learn how to navigate mixed emotions and mixed feelings and mixed thoughts. So I saw this quote just now, and I feel like it sums up how I feel right now. It sums it up. So it says, you don't feel unfulfilled because you're not there yet. You feel unfulfilled because you've made getting there the source of your happiness, and you're just not there yet. That's my 20s. That is my 20s. I have all these goals and dreams that I'm either going after or not, and I'm basing my happiness around that, when my happiness should be in the now. My happiness should be in walking in my purpose and knowing, regardless of the outcome, I'm walking in my purpose. Yeah, that quote hit me. It was way too early in the morning. 7 a.m. Bye. Too soon. I feel like it's really important at this age to really have faith and really trust God or whoever you believe in, whatever you believe in. Just really having that faith of knowing that everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to work out. As long as I trust myself and make good decisions that, I know are benefiting me now and will most likely benefit me in the long run. And that sometimes means making a choice of like going after a dream that you know that you'll regret later. Like, that's something that I feel like is a good decision. Hey, if I know if I don't go for this right now, I'm gonna regret it later. I feel like that is a great choice. And hey, if it doesn't work out, at least you went after it and you figured that out. I don't know why it's telling me I have no storage when it shows I got 15 gigs. So let's see if we can keep this going. One more thing I want to talk about is relationships. we're all in different stages of life right now. Again, some people have never been in a relationship and they're in their 20s. Some people are just now getting out of a relationship, a long-term one, a short-term one. Some people are getting engaged. Some people are getting married. Some people are getting divorced. Like, we're all in different stages. Some people have a bunch of friends from childhood who they love and they have kept a great relationship with over time. Some people have barely any friends, and it's like we're just all in different stages, and it's so weird to navigate. And then losing friendships, losing relationships, these are all pivotal times. You're starting to really figure out which way you're going in life and who can come with you on that path and who can't. Some people will stunt your growth and you can't be around them. Some people will elevate you and you want to be around them more. You're finding your people, you're finding your tribe. Like, that's totally okay, but it's hard. It's hard navigating that. It's hard feeling like you have to start over and, you know, make new friends. And then making friends as an adult is something in general. Like, it's just all so different and all so new. And I know I'm ranting and I know I don't really have any solutions. Like, while I'm talking about this, I feel like I'm not giving any solutions, but my goal wasn't to be like, hey, if you're feeling lost, this is what you should do. It's like, no, if you're feeling lost, I just feel like you need to sit in that for a little bit and allow clarity to come to you. Don't rush it, because you may make a decision that you actually don't want to make just because you don't want to sit in that feeling. I know emotions are uncomfortable. They make us feel weird. They make us do weird things sometimes, but sometimes you just need to sit in them and learn how to overcome them, even if it's slow, even if it hurts, even if it sucks, okay? I think I'll just leave it on at that. Again, I feel like 20s are the new teens, and that's okay. We're all figuring ourselves out. We're all finding our way. We all feel lost in some capacity. We all feel like we need to have our lives together, but we don't. We're all figuring out what's for us, and all under the lens of social media or our parents or society. And that's a lot of pressure. So be kind to yourself, be gentle with yourself, allow yourself to feel all the feels, and just move from there. I love you all. Go be great. And we're not gonna feel like this forever, okay? We're not gonna feel like this forever. I love you. Bye.